the whole fashion design world all around the world is looking for something unique that has a global language but has roots in its countries.
My dream is to advance fashion in this country.
We feel valued because they cater to modestly dressed women.
We want to show women as powerful warriors.
Modern yet traditional, pulsating and innovative. Istanbul is a place where the Orient meets the Occident. The textile industry has long played a major role in Turkey's economy. It's among the country's leading export sectors. And Istanbul has also earned a reputation as a lively fashion hub. Its design scene has become the focus of international attention. Creative, expressive and experimental, Turkish designers are taking the world's catwalks by storm. Take Zeynep Tosun's haute couture designs. The designer comes from a family of artists. Her mother fashioned costumes and her aunt is a well-known actress. The Turkish designer chose a spectacular spot to present her new collection. Ephesus, a ruined ancient city on Turkey's western coast. The Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was located nearby.
In mythology, there are many stories about the history of this city and the Amazons, the women who founded the city and built it up. That's why we wanted to film these strong women here.
This historical location is perfectly suited to Tosun's fashion philosophy. Her creations are always a blend of traditional and modern.
It's a haute couture collection in which we use lots of old Anatolian hand embroidery and techniques. Many women worked on it, which is why we gave this theme to the entire collection. We wanted to show women as powerful warriors.
Showing women to be strong yet feminine is the art of designer Simay Bülbül. In her fashion shows, she presents different types of women and their stories. Leather is one of her trademarks. She even crafts it into delicate trimmings, cuffs, and fine leather appliques.
Working with leather isn't easy, but leather masters can confirm that once you've got your hands on it. You just can't let go. It's a material unlike any other. There are always surprises. It produces something different, an interpretation. Most people only know it from jackets or skirts, but we turn leather into something different. We make lace from leather, and it's exciting.
Everything is made by hand. Simay Bülbül often has women from Anatolia craft the fine leather lace. It's also her way of modernising this traditional Turkish handicraft. Zeynep Tosun likes to use mythological symbols. The history of Ephesus dates back to around 5000 BCE. Her collection, City of the Mother Goddess, features serpents, which have been associated with femininity since antiquity and are a symbol of immortality. Tosun also likes to collaborate with women from rural areas as their master craftswomen. though her collections are mainly made at her Istanbul studio.
This here is a classical pattern. A huge carnation. It's used time and again. Everything has a meaning. And this here is all handmade. A machine could never do that. And here's something that symbolizes rebirth. And this symbolizes our life's path. We represent it that way because life is full of ups and downs. And here's a little son. We always try to tell a story through the women and their work.
Zeynep Tosun's fashions are catching on and have even been worn by celebrities, including Lady Gaga. Tosun inherited her love of materials from her family.
My grandmother said to my mother, "Child, don't take up sewing." And my mother said the same thing to me. But we're all so similar, like mother, like daughter. My grandmother had trunks. Every week I'd open them, and my grandma would ask, "What are you looking for?" Then she'd bring the stuff out, my aunt's costumes, my grandmother's old materials, jewelry and pearls. Every week I'd look at them, and then she'd put them back.
A city of 17 million people, Istanbul has a rich and varied history. The teeming metropolis is also the workplace of Banu Bulan. The grand dame of the Turkish fashion scene has been a major driver in its development. She helped bring Fashion Week here for the first time and made Turkish designers internationally known.
The whole fashion design world, all around the world, is looking for something unique that has a global language but has roots in its country.
The glamour of bygone times can still be seen today. The sumptuous oriental robes, the dress codes which made clothes an expression of social status. They're like a huge props room Turkish designers can draw from.
It's not only the empire that is inspiring the country, it has such a cultural deep roots which goes way back, the Ottoman Empire as well. The way people had to dress was according to their religion and according to their job that we're doing. So from 550 meters, you could understand that the guy that is walking up to you is either a butcher, a Jewish butcher, or an Armenian butcher, or a Turkish butcher. So the whole way they were dressed was coded. We are one of the countries who have made a revolution about clothing with the introduction of the Republic. So the whole way the people dressed, the Turkish public dressed, changed.
In the 1930s, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founding father of the Republic of Turkey, banned women from wearing headscarves outside places of worship as part of his drive to secularize the country. Nowadays, traditional and Western influences coexist. Fans of liberal fashion determine the street scene as much as stylish hijabistas. Since Erdogan's presidency, there has been a growing interest in lifestyles in accordance with conservative Islamic values, which is also reflected in fashion.
There's another tendency of being able to be dressed any way you like. You can get like with the headscarves and everything. I'm really happy that all of the women who are wearing headscarves have, because they were banned before, but this was a long time ago. They can dress any way they want. There's a freedom in that way.
For decades, modest fashion was marginalised. Nowadays, it's increasingly in vogue. The global online shopping platform Moderniza, for example, promotes modest fashion that is trendy and elegant. Modest fashion adheres to the rules of conservative Islam. Both body and hair are covered. Moderniza was founded more than a decade ago. Today, it's the undisputed #1 online retailer for modest fashion. Founder Karim Toure recognised this market potential early on.
For years, women who wanted to dress conservatively were literally ignored by the industry. And you could count companies that offered modest fashion on one hand. When Moderniza first entered the market, the first thing we did as an online retailer was to put wishes and demands of this clientele out into the world. We communicated them to all manufacturers and strived to meet those demands.
More and more Turkish haute couture designers are catering to the growing demand for modest fashion. Nihan Peker, for example, manages to find a balance between Western influences and the demands of conservative female customers.
I never designed for one typical woman. She shouldn't be only Turkish. She can be from Saudi Arabia. I can do for many women, because when they are coming here, I'm listening their story and I'm designing specially for them and adding my touch. So I'm so happy. So I'm not only designing a modest design, I'm designing for everyone. So I'm happy to be between.
Demand for modest fashion is on the rise. In 2018, a shopping centre exclusively for demure clothing opened in Istanbul.
It's all very convenient. It's easy to find clothes here. I can shop here as a woman without worrying or being disturbed and try on everything here at my leisure. We prefer shopping here because we can find everything we need in one place within 2 to 3 hours. We feel valued because they cater to modestly dressed women.
The shopping centre is unique. In the past, stores with conservative clothing were few and far between and offered little choice. If women wanted to dress fashionably, they had to have their outfits tailored. But in recent years, more and more companies have launched modest fashion ranges. This mall offers modest fashion in 130 stores spread over 30,000 square metres. Zekra Uzkoymaz, who is nicknamed Zerouge, founded this shopping mall and named it after herself. Customers adore her like a pop star.
Turkey is a textiles paradise. Our desire is to bring our Istanbul, with its infrastructure, together with the designers and the textile industry, and make Istanbul a fashion capital of the Middle East.
The growing popularity of the modest fashion scene also benefits online retailer Moderniza. It has a global marketing strategy and participates in fashion shows in Dubai and Jakarta. The market for modest fashion is a huge growth industry and a lucrative one. Top designer brands and major sports manufacturers are also jumping on the bandwagon with their own modest fashion lines.
I can say that the phenomenon of modest fashion is undoubtedly getting noticed. Is it respected? Definitely, because nowadays inclusivity is an important value. There's an awareness that we aren't all the same, and we understand our differences and respect each other.
In Istanbul's cityscape, this idea of coexistence and mutual respect works, especially for tourists and shoppers from the Middle East. Istanbul is a fashion hub and they feel included in it much more than in Paris or New York. The Turkish design scene is benefiting from this pull, including designers who are more focused on Western fashion, like designer Bünyamin Aydın, who has a label called La Benyama. His innovative sporty designs are catching on. He recently opened his first store in Dubai.
For me, fashion isn't just about what you wear, but also about empowerment.
Social media promote the new fashion trends, and they're immensely important in Turkey. 25 million of the country's population of 85 million are active on Instagram. Turkey has the 4th most Instagram users in the world. Bünyamin Aydın's label La Benyama is designed for cool millennials and takes a fresh look at the interplay of cultures.
I stand for the contemporary East.
Aydın is famous for combining traditional patterns and materials with streetwear. His flagship store is in Nişantaşı, a neighbourhood in Istanbul known for its upscale fashion scene.
I started my brand in Istanbul. The soul of this city is a source of inspiration for me. We're in the middle, between the East and West, Europe on one side and Asia on the other. That contrast between Europe and Asia inspires me. Also, there's no other city in the world as beautiful as Istanbul.
His store in Istanbul is a concrete building designed by American architects, juxtaposed with traditional Turkish objects. Early in his career, Aydın attracted the attention of a major American sporting goods manufacturer.
Nike has been supporting me for 4 years. In my first project, they chose me as one of 12 designers worldwide. They asked me to design the next Air Max. I represented Turkey as one of 12 designers.
Bünyamin Aydın likes to tell stories in his collections. In this one, he played with the aesthetics of Turkish car rallies in the 1970s. The designer was also encouraged by his mother, a textile entrepreneur.
It's all about storytelling. I don't think just marketing something works anymore. People don't care. But if you tell a true story, the product promotes itself.
Luxurious, casual, and pricey. A mix that works for this successful label. These days, the movers and shakers behind the emerging Turkish fashion scene can be found in the inner city district of Nişantaşı.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome to my design studio.
Hatice Göçer is considered to be the pioneer of Turkish men's fashion.
Breaking codes is something I've always focused on.
In 2009, the Turkish fashion designer debuted her Black Crow collection, which featured lots of black leather. She says that the crow is a creature that tends to inspire fear in people, and that, says Göçer, is how she wants to be regarded in the fashion world. So she made the crow the symbol of her label.
The fashion world has typically always focused on women. Men were trapped in the socially prescribed image, a limited palette of colors, shapes, accessories, how society expected a man to look. I wanted to change that. There was a real vacuum in men's fashion, and menswear designers didn't exist.
Hatice Göçer has been working in the industry for 21 years, and her hard work has turned her name into its own established brand. She studied at the prestigious Mimar Sinan University of Fine Arts in Istanbul. Her designs have won international awards. Thanks to Göçer, men today are making more creative, bolder and edgier style statements. She collaborates with famous musicians like pop star Tarkan and the rock star Hayko Cepkin. Göçer designed the outfits for Can Bonomo's performance at the 2012 Eurovision Song Contest. The tailcoats are in a traditional style. The clothes are reminiscent of the so-called Efe warriors who defended the weak. In Turkish culture, they are male heroes. Newborn is a menswear collection that Göçke launched in the middle of the pandemic during the spring of 2021. In it, she focuses on another important concept: fabrics made from completely sustainable materials.
There was already a real movement in fashion before the pandemic, and serious steps were being taken in terms of sustainability. But our lives completely changed after the pandemic, which really accelerated this movement. That's why you can say sustainable fashion is setting the trend today.
To designers like Göçke, sustainability during the production process is becoming more and more important. They're not just thinking more about the materials used in their collections, they're also paying more attention to factors like water consumption and environmental protection. The important role that the textile industry plays in the Turkish economy comes at a price. It places a massive burden on the environment and climate. Designers are fighting back. Including Tuba Ergin, a sustainability pioneer in the Turkish fashion industry. She proves that clothing can be both elegant and eco-friendly. She's been working in fashion for 20 years.
We should protect our traditional values and modernize them at the same time. It's time to do that.
Fashion designer Ergin presents her collection in Bursa, in a field with solar panels, a catwalk that makes a powerful statement about sustainability. She experiments by deliberately using materials that are considered to be low quality, like industrial waste. So she designed a series of handbags from old car tyres.
I've been living off of this material for about 5 years. Car tires, in particular, are a very interesting material. As you can see, they have their own textures and can show wear and tear. Sometimes there are patches on them. Not this one, though. I've combined them with leather. I usually use vegan leather.
But the most radical impetus for the industry has come from someone who turned her back on pure fashion design. Etçe Gözen was considered to be a child prodigy, a breakthrough design star who won internationally recognised awards for her creations when she was just 18 years old. Gözen is calling for a radical shift in thinking. The 32-year-old founded the Gözen Institute, which combines fashion, design, biotechnology and art. She partners up with biologists, architects and artists.
If I want to promote sustainability, I have to solve the problem from the ground up. And for me, that begins with the material.
Here, she's devising a new formula to produce vegan leather from bacteria. The resulting manufacturing process is resource efficient and 100% organic.
You usually have to breed and keep the animal to produce cow leather, and that requires a lot of raw materials, like food and water, which takes about 3 years. We can produce this leather in 2 to 3 weeks in the lab with the same conditions.
Etçe Gözen plans to sell her patent around the world. She's already the sustainability ambassador for a major American corporation.
We are giving back everything that we've taken from nature. This is what I mean by bio-design. It's a kind of apology.
Fashion design from Turkey. Inspiring, innovative, vibrant.
If I can move the community forward, it will take us all to a better place.
We don't just dress, we inspire.
The whole fashion world has a soft power to influence everything.
my dreams become real and enjoy every day, every part of this journey.